you know, we did it. You did the documentary, so I do want to briefly talk about that. For those who don't know, he had a documentary that you were filming while you were actually a congressman. So, and this documentary was picked up by MTV. It became nominated for an Oscar. You know, in the hood, that means you won. So I think you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You won in our eyes at the end of the day.
Right.
But like, talk to me about that. Like, how did that whole process happen where you got a documentary about yourself?
So it was wild. Smriti Mundra, who is now family to me, her and Sammy Khan, Cheyenne Poe, the entire squad, they basically got commissioned to do a documentary around what happened after Ferguson, right? Like some of these activists, what are they doing now, basically?
Right.
And so she read a story that the Post Dispatch, before they started hating me, they did in St. Louis. They did a great, full feature length profile on me.
Right.
So she read it and she like, oh, bet. She was already writing for BET and she already had documentaries on Netflix, all stuff going on, right?
Right.
And so she just kept reaching out while I was in office, and I was busy as hell. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool on documentaries and all that. Like, I'm cool. And so my assistant, Danielle, at the time, she was like, look, Danielle, one of my best friends, she like, look, this Al Jazeera. I was like, I don't even know who he is. She like, nah, it's a whole news station. And so she was like, look, I'm going to check it out. So she went and checked it out. And when she checked it out, it was money. She was like, look, you doing this. And I was like, I bet. So they flew in. First day, we was just supposed to be meeting. But when we met, they was like, I told them, I was like, I got to do this. They like, oh, well, can we follow you with a camera? I'm like, cool. After that, they filmed for, I think, on and off 6 months. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. Like, film crew. Sammy stayed at my house. You know what I'm saying? And we became family, and that's why I feel like that's why the documentary was so good in my opinion, because it was very personal, and I let them in on everything. Like, I gave them all access. My kids, me, when I was dealing with mental health, when I was crying, when I was punch a hole through a wall, whatever it was, right? They was right there to see it. And then most of the time I forgot they was even there. And so we did the documentary, and Smriti was like, well, we'll just do a couple film festivals. It'll go up on Al Jazeera. We cool. We won the first film festival.
Okay.
That made us Oscar qualified. And then we won that Tribeca. And Sheila Nevins saw the film, who was taking over MTV documentaries. And she was like, hey, I got to have this. They worked it out. They start pushing, Al Jazeera pushing, we pushing. Come down to it. We made the short list. And then that January morning, 8 o'clock, we all watching. And they made the announcements. And I remember, bro, I got a hotel room. And I remember watching it. And they said St. Louis Superman. And first I bust out laughing. And then I just started crying. Like, man, I remember a year ago, I almost killed myself. A year ago, they drove me crazy in St. Louis. They ridiculed me for the very thing that the world finna get to see, that the world is recognizing as a powerful story, a powerful enough story to get nominated for an Oscar out of the thousands and thousands of documentaries that had happened this year. And we got to the Oscars, and I took my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool. Like, I won. We won.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
word.
Everybody connected to us won.
Word up.
Because, I got my mama walked down that red carpet. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, it had to been surreal.
Nah, it was fire. I definitely went in there with my activism on. First interview, they was like, how does it feel to be here? I'm like, it's real white. And the lady was like, I'm like, look, we talk about equity and inclusion. Like, I know a whole lot of stories from people of color and, women of color that's out here directing that's getting shut out. And, so my mind automatically, and then Mark Ruffalo was there, and we had became friends some months before that. But come to find out, like, he was presenting on, my category. And we did our live the other day, and he was like, you know, I wanted you to win. I said it. I'm like, you know, I paused because he paused for a minute before he read the name and was like, and then he said the people that won, and you could see the disappointment in his face. Was like, look, we made it here.
Yeah, that's all that mattered. And just for y'all that don't know, Mark Ruffalo's homie who played the Hawk in the Avengers.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mark Ruffalo.
Mark, my brother.
I definitely see him showing love and
Facts.
you know pushing the positive narrative. So you know that's really dope, man. Like it's kind of full circle. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from where you come from, to be able to you know overcome that jungle, you know, just as is, because you know you got to survive that first.
Facts.
And unfortunately, so